welcome to another installment of Tales of an ALT. Now, in today's installment, we are going to talk about the different kinds of JTEs. Now, I believe I'm on my 6th contract as an ALT. Oh wow, yeah. My 6th contract as an ALT, and I have worked with about 25 different JTEs in my career. But one thing I started to notice, especially this last 2 years, when I had gone into my first days of class, and yes, I do my self-introduction and things like that, but when I started a class with the JTE, there were quite a few things I noticed that were the same. And I started thinking, oh, you're like that teacher I had in the past. Or, oh, you kind of do things like so-and-so. But then when I sat down to create this video and, get all the topics and ideas together, I realized it's not a set person, and it's not 100% one way. It's more like traits, and that got me thinking about Sims and and their different traits that make up their Sim personalities. So I kind of saw JTEs like that. Now, one of these traits is something I call no need for ALT. A JTE with this trait may or may not dislike the ALT or English in general, which begs the question, why are you teaching English? But that may not be the case at all. It could just simply be they have their own system and everything, and you coming in is just like, why do I have to deal with you? But also may not be true at all, and it just comes off that way. But in some cases where it can get annoying is there you are, a native speaker being paid to be there, stand in the back of the class, talk to the students, get the pronunciation and everything for them, and it's time to do the new words for the chapter, and here is your chance. And you're going to stand up, you're all ready for repeat after the TV, the smartboard, okay, or repeat after the CD. Now typically that is a JTE who feels more comfortable when you are not there to use a CD or the smartboard for the flashcards and things like that. So they get in that system, and lo and behold, you are there. They kind of forget you're there, and they just do their own thing like they normally do. Now, another trait I have noticed is no control. This means no control over the classroom. They may be a very new teacher. They may be a retired or a teacher just about to head out in retirement, and they could care less. Or it could be a substitute teacher. I have worked with one that comes out of retirement and they're only there a few months. They don't really care. It's not their job to have the classroom dynamic and everything. They try to follow the previous teacher, but if they don't really have it set in stone, or then what can they do? But side effects. That's what I do. Side effects of these traits may be your activities as an ALT being quite difficult. There's only so much you can do when you say, repeat after me, hello, and the class will not repeat. And the teacher with no control, or who doesn't want to control the classroom, doesn't do anything to get them to repeat. And that can be very difficult. Also, in the more worse situations I've been in and heard about. This also may lead to difficult classroom situations, which could go from repeat after me and no one repeats to actual physical violence in the classroom. And I've had a student punch another student in class and storm out of class by kicking the door out into the hall, and it was just crazy. And I was left standing in the room because the JTE had to go after that student, just going, okay. It's difficult to work with. Also, the JTE may depend on you for the classroom management, and that's not our job. It's not. Another trait your JTE may have is random questions. And this JTE will ask you random questions on the spot in class. You may be standing in the front of class and the teacher says, hey, what's the difference between practice and do? Let me think on that. Or they may just ask you, so by the way, we're learning the santangen as the third person singular version of verbs. And the question is, how did you learn it in school? It's been a while since I've been in elementary and actually fully discussed grammar. So I don't know. So they kind of expect you to know everything about the language. And it can be difficult, also can be kind of fun. And I like having that interaction. Another trait is strict. I usually have problems with these teachers because I like to avoid conflicts. So a strict teacher are very quick at reprimanding and getting upset with troublemakers or the class not doing completely what they're supposed to be doing. The good of this is there is so much English usually used in class. And what I mean by that is if a student stands up and they're supposed to say the answer and then say, okay, and the class is supposed to say nice or some sort of reply to the okay, then if they don't and they're like, nope, do it again, and okay, and or the rest of the class, you didn't answer, that is a very good benefit. Also, the control of the class and just bam, bam, bam to the next thing is actually really good. The bad thing, it does kind of suck the fun out of the class. You can feel the kids' energy for sure. Going from oh, it's English and it's Michelle, she's here. And we're getting yelled at because we didn't do our notebooks. So you can see that. But your job as mood maker is to kind of bring things back without stepping on the JTE's toes. Because if they want to be mad the whole class, you kind of got to go with that. Alright, another trait we have is the set system trait. Now this trait means that the JTE has their specific way of running class, and it is a well-oiled machine with no room for any change or for you to do anything for the most part. Your role may already be built into this. It may be first 10 minutes you're doing a warm-up. That's it. And you will do your CD player, tape recorder role. But within those 10 minutes you do your thing, and then it's back to the system. And it could be, this is exactly how we cover a chapter. First part, we do the grammar, then we do translation, then we do writing, and then we practice, a very set routine. And it works really nice. But it's kind of difficult to get the flow going because the kids may check out in the beginning. Alright, so another trait, and one of my personal favorites, is the informer trait. Now what I mean by this is the JTE who connects with the ALT and gives them information about things. This can vary from sports day is on this date to Dade sensei father passed away, so he's not going to be around for the next week. Oh, okay. All this, especially if Dade sensei is another JTE, very good to know that one of your JTEs will not be there and therefore their classes are canceled or self-study for the rest of the week. Very good information to have. But also, they help you connect with the school. In talking with them or them telling you, hey, we have a Bonenkai end of the year party coming up. Do you want to go? Yes, please. Like, they really help you feel a member of the school. I had one great example of this and another trait together. The next trait, actually. Informer plus the next trait. Great combo. But I was only at that school for 1.5 days a week. And I was at another school 3.5 days a week. And so I felt more connected with that school because of that JTE than I did with other schools that I was there. Maybe even like slightly the school I work at now, that I'm there some weeks, 4 days a week. But I knew more what was going on and more of my place and felt more accepted as a member of the school and the community because of this particular trait. But that did go hand in hand with this next trait, the mentor trait. Now, the mentor trait, and what I mean by this, it is a teacher who knows what they're doing, has everything planned out, and you learn so much from them, whether it's activities they do and you just think, I'm going to steal that. Like my version of crisscross gyoko tate, I stole from a JTE. Well, steal, but also I took it and then modified it. I can rebuild it into a Michelle version. So you could take a lot and learn a lot from those particular JTEs. Also, they look out for you. And in the school I was talking about before with the student punching another student in class and just that JTE realized how bad that situation was and made the decision to take me off those classes. And unfortunately the other ALT had to continue to go, but they knew how it affected me and they were worried and looking out for me that they decided to make that call. Just fine. Alright, the last trait I'm going to talk about is my personal favorite, but also one I may get in a little trouble with. It is the fun trait. Now, what I mean by this is they seem to enjoy their job and they enjoy class and they are just hyper, smiley, talkative. They talk so much and they want to talk about everything in class, which what I like is in doing so that brings the world into the English class. So having a discussion in English or even in Japanese and then asking either cultural or vocabulary type questions to me about, say, missiles flying over Japan from North Korea, that brings the world into the English world the kids are entering and studying, and I really like that. Where we usually get in trouble, the JT and myself, usually is we usually talk a lot and we enjoy it. It's easy to lose focus of the class and going back or bringing it back to the topic at hand and not having a whole class like, oh, we're just talking about North Korea. No. Okay, we're going to bring this North Korea talk. This is just recent, so that's why I'm talking about it. But we're going to talk about that, but bring it into the whole Sasaki Sadako Hiroshima chapter and is the world peaceful now? What do you think? Topic that we have this lesson. So I've gotten better at that in working with those types of or JTEs and bringing them back to focus. But there's still the JTEs with this trait that I just love working with them a lot. And I think I've had at least one every school I've worked at, and I always look forward to their classes. But gotta keep focused. Well, that is going to do it for today's episode, and if you liked what you saw, as always, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment for sure. Any questions, ideas, or anything that you may have. So, I will see you guys in the next installment. So until next time, ja!